said that? It feels perfect for us, isn't it? The sun is so bright. It definitely makes me feel very good. It says. You look all cute with your something. Laying back and just soaking in the sun doesn't seem like too bad of an idea. The waves don't seem to be as rough as they were yesterday. It's pretty cool. Are we gonna take a nap? You don't think so? Okay. You know, I can tell by the way that your eyes are like closing really slow. I think you're gonna take a nap. You seem pretty exhausted. After swimming for so long, you certainly have the stamina that I have. Don't worry about it. Well, if you'd like, maybe instead of some music, I could read to you part of this book I'm reading. It's pretty good. It's Jane Eyre. I know you know the story, but it's one of my favorites, so... Are you counting boats to fall asleep, or... There's a couple out there, but it's not that many. We just finished applying the sunscreen. I think we can give it maybe half an hour more, and then we can go. Lay your head down. Oh, lay your head down. I'm so silly. It doesn't matter what I'm reading. I'm gonna read to you anyway. These beach chairs are a little noisy. I know. I'll lay down with you. How about that? Yeah, that seems better. You look more comfortable. Okay. Let's see. Where was I? Mr. Rochester must have been aware of the entrance of Mrs. Fairfax and myself, but it appeared he was not in the mood to notice us, for he never lifted his head as we approached. "Here is Miss Eyre, sir," said Mrs. Fairfax in her quiet way. He bowed, still not taking his eyes from the group of the dog and the child. "Let Miss Eyre be seated," said he, and there was something in the forced, stiff bow, in the impatient yet formal tone, which seemed to further express, "What the deuce is it to me whether Miss Eyre be there or not? At this moment I am not disposed to accost her." I sat down quite disembarrassed. A reception of finished politeness would probably have confused me. I could not have returned or repaid it by answering grace and elegance on my part, but harsh and caprice laid me under no obligation. On the contrary, a decent quiescence, under the freak of manner, gave me the advantage. Besides, the eccentricity of the proceeding was piquant. I felt interested to see how he would go on. He went on as a statue would. That is, he neither spoke nor moved. Mrs. Fairfax seemed to think it necessary that someone be amiable, and she began to talk, kindly, as usual, and, as usual, rather trite. She condoled with him on the pressure of business he had had all day, on the annoyance it must have been to him with that painful sprain. Then she commended his patience and perseverance in going through with it. "Madam, I would like some tea," was the sole rejoinder she got. She hastened to ring the bell, and when the tray came, she proceeded to arrange the cups, spoons, etc., with assiduous celerity. I and Adele went to the table, but the master did not leave his couch. "Will you hand Mr. Rochester's cup?" said Mrs. Fairfax to me. Adele might perhaps spill it. I did as requested, as he took the cup from my hand. Adele, thinking the moment propitious for making a request in my favor, cried out, "Ne sais pas, monsieur, qu'il y a un cadeau pour mademoiselle Eyre dans votre petit coffre." "Who talks of cadeau?" said he gruffly. "Did you expect a present, Miss Eyre? Are you fond of presents?" And he searched my face with eyes that I saw were dark, irate, and piercing. "I hardly know, sir. I have little experience of them. They are generally thought pleasant things." "Generally thought? But what do you think?" "I should be obliged to take time, sir, before I could give you an answer worthy of your acceptance. A present has many faces to it, has it not? And one should consider all before pronouncing an opinion as to its nature." "Miss Eyre, you are not so unsophisticated as Adele. She demands a cadeau, clamorously, the moment she sees me. You beat around bush." "Because I have less confidence in my deserts than Adele has. She can prefer the claim of old acquaintance, and the right, too, of custom, for she says you have always been in the habit of giving her playthings. But if I had to make out a case, I should be puzzled, since I am a stranger, and have done nothing to entitle me of an acknowledgment." Oh, don't fall back on overmodesty. I have examined Adele and find you have taken great pains with her. She is not bright, she has no talents, yet in a short time she has made much improvement. Sir, now you have given me a cadeau. I am obliged to you. It is the meed teachers most covet, praise of their pupils' progress. Humph, said Mr. Rochester, and he took his tea in silence. Come to the fire, said the master, when the tray was taken away, and Mrs. Fairfax had settled into the corner with her knitting, while Adele was leading me by the hand round the room, showing me the beautiful books and ornaments on the consoles and chiffoniers. We obeyed, as in duty bound. Adele wanted to take a seat on my knee, but she was ordered to amuse herself with Pilot. You have been residents in my house 3 months? Yes, sir. And you come from Lowood School in Shire? Ah, a charitable concern. How long have you been there? 8 years. 8 years? You must be tenacious of life. I thought half the time in such a place would have done up any constitution. No wonder you have rather the look of another world. I marveled where you had got that sort of face. When you came on me in Hay Lane last night, I thought unaccountably of fairy tales, and had half a mind to demand whether you had bewitched my horse. I'm not sure yet. Who are your parents? I have none. Nor ever had, I suppose. Do you remember them? No. I thought not. And so you are waiting for your people when you sat at the stile? For whom, sir? For the men in green. It was a proper moonlight evening for them. Did I break through one of your rings, that you spread the damned ice on the causeway? I shook my head. The men in green all forsook England 100 years ago, said I, speaking as seriously as he had done. And not even in Hay Lane, or the fields about it, could you find a trace of them. I don't think either summer or harvest or winter moon will ever shine on their revels more. I like this book. It's funny to me how their interactions go, because his character is so serious and... What was that, honey? You're mumbling. What is it? Keep reading. You want me to keep reading, huh? Yeah, I can do that for you. Okay, I'll keep reading. Mrs. Fairfax had dropped her knitting and, with raised eyebrows, seemed wondering what sort of talk this was. Well, resumed Mr. Rochester, if you disown parents, you must have some sort of kinsfolk, uncles or aunts. No, none that I ever saw. And your home? I have none. Where do your brothers and sisters live? I have no brothers or sisters. Who recommended you to come here? I advertised, and Mrs. Fairfax answered my advertisement. Yes, said the good lady, who now knew what ground we were upon. And I am daily thankful for the choice Providence led me to make. Miss Eyre has been an invaluable companion to me, and a kind and careful teacher to Adele. Don't trouble yourself to give her a character, returned Mr. Rochester. Eulogiums will not bias me. I shall judge for myself. She began by felling my horse. Sir? Said Mrs. Fairfax. I have to thank her for this sprain. The widow looked bewildered. Miss Eyre, have you ever lived in the town? No, sir. Have you seen much society? None but the pupils and teachers of Lowood, and now the inmates of Thornfield. Have you read much? Only such books as came in my way, and they have not been numerous or very learned. You have lived the life of a nun. No doubt you are well drilled in religious forms. Brocklehurst, who I understand directs Lowood, is a parson, is he not? Yes, sir. And you girls probably worshipped him as a convent full of religiouses would worship their director. Oh, no. You are very cool. No. What? A novice not worship her priest? That sounds blasphemous. I disliked Mr. Brocklehurst, and I was not alone in that feeling. He is a harsh man, at once pompous and meddling. He cut off our hair, and for economy's sake, bought us bad needles and thread, which with we could hardly sew. That it was very false economy, remarked Mrs. Fairfax, who now again caught the drift of the dialogue. And was that the head and front of his offending? Demanded Mr. Rochester. He starved us when he had the sole superintendence of the provision department, before the committee was appointed. He bored us with long lectures once a week, and with evenings reading from books of his own inditing about sudden deaths and judgments, which made us afraid to go to bed. What age were you when you went to Lowood? About 10. And you stayed there 8 years. You are now, then, 18? I assented. Arithmetic, you see, is useful. Without its aid, I should hardly have been able to guess your age. It is a point difficult to fix where the features and countenance are so much at variance as in your case. And now, what did you learn at Lowood? Can you play? A little. Of course. That is the established answer. Go into the library. If you please, excuse my tone of command. I am used to say, do this, and it is done. I cannot alter my customary habits for one new inmate. Go, then, into the library, take a candle with you, leave the door open, sit down to the piano, and play a tune. Oh. That wind really knocked your hat off of you. Let me get it settled back on you, okay? There you go. There you go, honey. All settled in. Okay. No, you just keep your eyes closed. You keep your eyes closed. You look so cute when you're taking a nap. I'm gonna keep reading, okay? I departed, obeying his directions. Enough, he called out in a few minutes. You play a little, I see. Like any other English schoolgirl, perhaps rather better than some, but not well. I closed the piano and returned. Mr. Rochester continued. Adele showed me some sketches this morning which she said were yours. I don't know whether to say entirely of your doing. Probably a master aided you. No, indeed, I interjected. Ah, that pricks pride. Well, fetch me your portfolio if you can vouch for its contents being original, but don't pass your word unless you are certain. I can recognize patchwork. Then I will say nothing and you shall judge for yourself, sir. I brought the portfolio from the library. Approach the table, said he, and I wheeled it to his couch. Adele and Mrs. Fairfax drew near to see the pictures. No crowding, said Mr. Rochester. Take the drawings from my hand as I finish them, and don't push your faces up to mine. He deliberately scrutinized each sketch and painting. 3 he laid aside. The others, when he had examined them, he swept from him. "Take them off to the other table, Mrs. Fairfax," said he, "and look at them with Adele. You," glancing at me, "resume your seat and answer my questions. I perceive those pictures were done by one hand. Was that yours?" "Yes." "And when did you find the time to do them? They have taken much time and some thought." "I did them in the last 2 vacations I spent at Lowood, when I had no other occupation." "Where did you get your copies?" "Out of my head." "That head I see now on your shoulders?" "Yes, sir." "Has it any other furniture of the same kind within?" "I should think it may have. I should hope. Better." He spread the pictures before him and again surveyed them alternately. While he is so occupied, I will tell you, reader, what they are. And first, I must premise, they are nothing wonderful. The subjects had indeed risen vividly on my mind, as I saw them with a spiritual eye before I attempted to embody them. They were striking. But my hand would not second my fancy, and in each case it had wrought out a pale portrait of the thing I had conceived. These were in watercolors. The first represented clouds, low and livid, rolling over a swollen sea. All the distance was in eclipse. So too was the foreground, for rather the nearest billows, for there was no land. One gleam of light lifted into relief a half-submerged mast on which sat a cormorant, dark and large, with wings flecked with foam. Its beak held a gold bracelet set with gems that I had touched with as brilliant tints as my palette could yield, and as glittering distinctness as my pencil could impart. Sinking below the bird and mast, a drowned corpse glanced through the green water. A fair arm was the only limb clearly visible, once the bracelet had been washed or torn. The second picture contained, for foreground only, the dim peak of a hill, with grass and some leaves slanting as if by a breeze. Beyond and above spread an expanse of sky, dark blue as a twilight. Rising into the sky was a woman's shape, to the bust, portrayed in tints as dusk and soft as I could combine. The dim forehead was crowned with a star. The lineaments below were seen as through the suffusion of vapor. The eyes shone dark and wild. Hair streamed shadowy like a beamless cloud torn by storm or by electric travail. On the neck lay a pale reflection like moonlight. The same faint luster touched the train of thin clouds from which rose and bowed this vision of the evening star. The third showed the pinnacle of an iceberg, piercing a polar winter sky. A muster of northern lights reared their dim lances, close, serried, along the horizon. Throwing these into the distance, rose, in the foreground, a head, a colossal head inclined towards the iceberg, and resting against it, 2 thin hands, joined under the forehead, and supporting it, drew up before the lower features a sable veil, a brow quite bloodless, white as a bone, and an eye hollow and fixed, blank of meaning, but for the glassiness of despair alone were visible. Above the temples, amidst wreathed turban folds of black drapery, vague in its character and consistency as cloud, gleamed a ring of white flame, gemmed with sparkles of a lurid tinge. This pale crescent was the likeness of a kingly crown. What it diademed was the shape which shape had none. Were you happy when you painted these pictures? Asked Mr. Rochester presently. I was absorbed, sir. Yes, I was happy. To paint them, in short, was to enjoy one of the keenest pleasures I had ever known. That is not saying much. Your pleasures, by your own account, have been few. But I dare say you did exist in a kind of artist's dreamland when you blent and arranged these strange tints. Did you sit at them long each day? I had nothing else to do, because it was the vacation, and I sat at them from morning till noon and from noon till night. The length of the midsummer days favored my inclination to apply. And you felt self-satisfied with the results of your ardent labors? Far from it. I was tormented by the contrast between my idea and my handiwork. In each case, I combined something which I was quite powerless to realize. Not quite. You have secured the shadow of your thought, but no more, probably. You had not enough of the artist's skill in science to give it full being, yet the drawings are, for a schoolgirl, peculiar. As to the thoughts, they are elfish. These eyes and the evening star, you must have seen in a dream. How could you make them look so clear, yet not at all brilliant? For the planet above quells their rays. And what meaning is that in their solemn depth? And who taught you to paint wind? There is a high gale in the sky, and on this hilltop, where did you see Latmos? For that is Latmos. There. Put the drawings away. I had scarce tied the strings of the portfolio when, looking at his watch, he said abruptly, It is 9 o'clock. What are you about, Miss Eyre, to let Adele sit up so long? Take her to bed. Adele went to kiss him before quitting the room. He endured the caress, but scarcely seemed to relish it more than Pilate would have done, nor so much. I wish you all good night now, said he, making a movement of the hand towards the door, in token that he was tired of our company and wished to dismiss us. Mrs. Fairfax folded up her knitting. I took my portfolio. We curtsied to him, received a frigid bow in return, and so withdrew. I'm getting tired of reading, honestly. Maybe, just maybe, I'll take a nap with you. I hope that'll be okay. I mean, you seem tired enough that I don't think you'll mind. I'll just lay here and fall asleep to the waves, okay?